In this Writer's Toolbox video, I'll be discussing thesis statements. So, you've read a text in class and you've been asked to write an essay. You understand the text theme, symbols, characters, devices, the setting, the plot, the tone. But where do you even begin with regards to writing your essay? There's so much to choose from and you don't know where to start. Well, this is where a thesis statement comes in. A thesis statement will chisel down the areas in which you need to explore. It will focus your essay and make sure that you're left with a nice, finished, clear, focused essay. Thesis statements directly answer the essay question or prompt, therefore guiding your essay. Everything in your essay connects to the thesis statement. It is the central claim in which everything else supports. Now, what's the criteria for a successful thesis statement? Well, a thesis statement answers the essay question or prompt with a strong claim. A thesis statement is placed at the end of your introduction. A thesis statement should make sense without any other information. It should be standalone and fully contextualized. A thesis statement should also use vocabulary from the question or prompt in order to have it connect. So you've got a question and you use that question and answer it directly to create your thesis statement. The thesis statement sits at the end of your introduction. As I said, it directly answers the question and even uses some of the vocabulary from the question. All body claims extend, expand, and connect to your thesis statement. They also use similar vocabulary. Let's look at an example from Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. Now, Frankenstein is a story about a doctor called Victor Frankenstein. He is the protagonist. He creates a monster known as Frankenstein's monster. He wants to play God and bring life, make his own creation. However, it's not the perfect specimen he imagines, and it's kind of a hideous creature. So he rejects it, and mankind rejects the creature in general. The creature runs away, learns to read, and just wants to be loved. He eventually asks Frankenstein to make him a female companion, someone for him to love, and he says, if you do this, I'll stay away forever. Victor agrees, but he breaks his promise, so the monster kills Victor's true love, Elizabeth. From then on, Victor is obsessed with revenge and looks to find the monster. Now, the story is set in the 18th century in parts of Europe. Now, Mary Shelley is the author. She was a woman who wrote the novel, and at the time this was uncommon. It's also interesting to note that her husband Percy is a famous poet, or was a famous poet. Anyway, I've been asked the question, to what extent is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley an example of Gothic literature? Here's my answer. Frankenstein by Mary Shelley contains elements of fear, the supernatural, and gloomy settings. Does this answer the question? Oh, does it stand alone? Sorry. Does it stand alone? Yes, it contains the text, Frankenstein, and the author. Is it a strong claim? It's not. It doesn't explain how or why. Does it answer the question? No, it doesn't refer to Gothic literature. What about this example then? Mary Shelley's novel Frankenstein is a perfect example of Gothic literature, as it features the elements of fear, the supernatural, and dark, gloomy settings. It stands alone. It has the author's name and the text. It is a strong claim. It explains why or how. I know this because of the word as. And does it answer the question? Yes, it does. It tells me it is an example of Gothic literature. Let's look at this question. What themes does Shelley explore in her novel Frankenstein? She explores the themes of alienation, creation, and revenge. It answers the question. It says that she explores these themes and what themes they are. It's not a strong claim. It does not explain how or why. And it doesn't stand alone. Who is she? And in what text does she explore these themes? If I needed to fix it, I might write Mary Shelley in her novel Frankenstein explores the themes of alienation, creation, and revenge through the monster. It stands alone. It's got Mary Shelley and Frankenstein. It's a strong claim. It explains how. I know that because of the word through. And it answers the question. It talks about the themes she explores. A final example then. Who is the real monster in Mary Shelley's Frankenstein? Mary Shelley's Frankenstein is about a monster created by Dr. Frankenstein because she wanted people to evaluate their ideas of real monsters. Well, it stands alone. It has Mary Shelley and Frankenstein. I guess it's a strong claim. It answers why. It absolutely does not answer the question. It doesn't really make sense. Alternatively, I could have written Mary Shelley's novel Frankenstein. In Mary Shelley's novel Frankenstein, Victor Frankenstein can be interpreted as the real monster due to his unhealthy obsession to play God. It does stand alone. It's got Mary Shelley and Frankenstein. It is a strong claim. It explains why, and it actually answers the question. Now remember, when writing a thesis statement, it directly answers the essay question, and everything in your essay must connect to this. Follow the criteria. It should be a strong claim that it explains how or why. It should be at the end of your introduction, and it should make sense without any other information. It should be standalone. Finally, in order to make it connect and answer the question, use vocabulary from the question.